Well, hello there, my name is Vladimir, welcome to my studio. Today we are checking out the Knox JTC Drum and Loop Pro. Yes, I'm still sticking with Knox because I started pronouncing it Knox instead of Nuix, and nobody from the company has been correcting me so far, so I don't really care. I don't think they care either. Maybe some of you care, actually some of you do care, but whatever. In a nutshell, this thing is a drummer and a looper in one box, and this thing offers just crazy amount of really cool and usable options. You can have drum fills in your drum things, as you saw in the beginning. I can control that with the foot. There's ability to split the guitar and the drum signal so they go into different outputs, and that allows you to do things. There's like a frequency compensation for the drums. You can upload your own tracks into this thing and play them from here, and bunch of other stuff, and I'll try to cover all of it. Probably I'll forget something, but we'll try. The JTC Drum and Loop is part of Knox's Vertigo series, I think that's how you pronounce it. And all of those pedals, including the packaging, has felt really high quality. Like, there's a certain premium feel when you open the box, and there's a nice colored manual in it, and the pedal is packaged nicely and stuff like that. Just little touches that kind of add to overall experience with this pedal. Let's start with the front panel of things, and I just want to mention that I'll try to cover all of the main things. This pedal goes really in depth, allows you to fine tune bunch of stuff, and covering all of it would result in a really long video, which kind of takes from the main point of that you don't need to know all of those things to start having fun with this pedal, and I think that's the most important thing about it. It can feel really overwhelming when you read the functions list, but when you get into it, it's not that complicated actually. So on the front panel, first of all, there's the two foot switches. The rhythm foot switch turns on the drums, and on the first push basically it will start the drums. If you click it again, it will actually play in the fill. If you double tap it quickly, it will stop the drums, and if you double tap it slowly, it will actually have a longer fill, which is really, really cool. And as you heard in the track or jam in the beginning, it works good, really well, and sounds fun. Then there's the loop button, and this foot switch is like very multifunctional, and in combination with this you can actually like tap in the tempo, you can start the loop, you can record overdubs and all that kind of stuff. Loop level and rhythm level adjustments, which is really cool. You can kind of blend in as much drums or little drums as you want, and same goes for the guitar as well. And this button over here, when it's kind of in a default mode, this selects the different rhythmical patterns. I think there's like 30 different drummers here or so. We'll check them out soon. Or by clicking here you can change either the tempo, or by holding it you can also change the time signature. I think there's 4, 4, 3, 4 and shuffle, if I remember correctly. Save and delete are kind of self-explanatory. You can save the jam you are having into this, which is cool. I think there's 256 memory banks to recall them. You can rotate through them here. Then there's the stop mode sections, and here, well, instant stop is kind of obvious. When you double click the loop button, it will just stop right away, and that's it. One shot is basically that it will play the loop once, and this is really meant for backing tracks you might have in the pedal. So if you have a 3-minute song or backing track uploaded into it, you can select the one shot mode, you turn it on once, and it will play that track once and stop there. Then the fine thing is basically it will play until the end of that loop. So if your loop is, for example, 4 bars, you click this on the second bar, it will still play the third and fourth bar, and then it will stop. And there's also a 10-second fade out option, which is really cool. It will just fade away over the next 10 seconds. So depending on what you want to do with this, it will adapt to both kind of traditional looping but also live performance in many ways, either playing the backing tracks, or if you want to just fade out your loop stuff, like many cool options. I feel this thing is really meant for both kind of practice and having fun, but also live situations, which I like a lot, and it feels like they've thought of many different situations where you might want to use this thing. On the back side, if you will, there's a standard 9-volt power input, there's a USB, I think it's micro USB. This pedal both can receive updates from Knox, and also you can use this to upload your own jam tracks into it, which is cool. External switch allows you to use an external foot switch, which adds some functionality. More of that in the manual. I'm not going to dive into that. It becomes a bit too complicated for my mind. But yeah, you'll be more than fine with just a pedal, but you can also add an external foot switch to expand its capabilities. And this is something that's really, really cool. The fact that you can split the signal in several ways is something I haven't seen on any other looper pedals before. And let me use my cheat sheet to remember how it goes. First of all, you can send both the drums and the guitar into two separate outputs, meaning that like in both outputs there would be both the drums and the guitar signal. So one of the signals would go into your amp, for example, and the other one would go to the front of house. So that's cool. Then the second version that I was actually using, you can send the drums and guitar separately, and that's something that I was doing. I was sending my guitar signal into the amp over there, and then it went normally through my recording setup. And through the secondary output, I was sending the drums into my recording interface, so I can kind of mix and blend those in as I want later. And as you can hear, the quality of the drum sounds is just really, really good when it's kind of separated and it's not being played through the amp speaker itself. Then you can also send both the drums and guitar signal to your amp, for example, and then just the drums to the mixer. Nox has a whole chart/image on their website which demonstrates all the possible kind of connectivity options you can have with this. Again, it's just meant for all kinds of playing situations, and I really like how they thought of all the different ways you might want to connect this. Something they have also thought of is that if you just take a drum signal or like a drum loop signal and send it through an amp, it doesn't sound that good. So there's an actually option to have like a frequency compensation on the drums when you're sending them through a guitar amp. And I'm just going to demonstrate the differences of that right now. So as you can tell, the difference isn't like huge, especially when going into a slightly overdriven amp, but the frequency compensated sound does sound a little bit better. It's kind of more defined and stuff like that. I personally think it just sounds a little bit better. Let's get into the looping side of things. I'm playing my Fender Rode One Strat into the Rev Dynamis, and I'm splitting the signal again so the drums go on the separate track. I'm just going to record some sort of loop that I come up with right now, and the idea is not to create a perfect loop, but just have something to play with so I can demonstrate the fade out modes or the stop modes, for example. You can hear the major chord in the beginning. Nobody cares about that right now. So now if I double press, it stops. If we go to the one-shot mode, it should stop soon. I just realized I recorded a bit too long loop, but we'll stick with it because I'm able to talk over this quite fine right now. Yeah, and it stops. Then the fine mode. Sorry, you'll just have to listen to this again. And now I told it to stop, so I double tapped, and it should stop at the end of this loop. Yeah, there you go. So that's really convenient as well. And the last one is the fade out. I realized too late that, oh yeah, I need to engage the fade out, but I think you got the idea. So yeah, there's a 10-second fade out. Works really well. That's cool. I don't think I need to demonstrate the loop level and rhythm level controls because you get the idea. You can blend them in as much as you want to. Something that I like a lot is that I can actually undo the previous recording, which in this case removed the only recording we had, so we can record something again. Again, the start and stop aren't perfect just because I'm operating with my hands. And if I want to overdub this, that's a bad overdub, but it's there now. And if I want to delete it, I just hold this. And it just undid the previous take. And if I want to, yeah, and just stop it. Yeah, we were on the 10-second fade out mode. Let's go back to the instant stop just for the sake of the demonstration. But yeah, that's the really simple way. Just kind of layer tracks on top of it. You can undo the previous one if it doesn't go right, and just super fun and super simple. Something that I mentioned is that you can indeed save this. So let's save it to the memory bank 1 like this, and we can then recall it. We can stop it, go to a different one. Now that we are on a different preset, just to start recording, hit this. I think what I just played is garbage, so I want to delete that. I'm just going to hold the delete button or save/delete button. It will blink DL, which means delete. Click it again, and that monstrosity is gone. That's the basic operation of the looper side of things, basically. To keep this video at a reasonable length, I'm just going to mention a couple of things instead of demonstrating them. First of all, the pedal is capable of starting recording in 2 different modes. The first one is the traditional one. You just hit the button and it starts recording, simple as that. But then there's also an auto record mode where it will wait for the signal to come from the guitar, so you can hit record, and the first time you play whatever, it starts recording from there. Once it starts recording, it operates the same way in both of the modes. The second thing is that the loop switch has like a bunch of different functions. For example, you can mute the last loop you just recorded. If you're doing like overdubs, you can basically mute the last overdub. Besides deleting that, you can also mute it, you can resume it, and a bunch of other stuff you can do with this thing as well. It's designed for you to be able to easily lay a bunch of tracks if you want to. Links to the manual that explains all of this in the description, so click there after you've watched this video. And the last thing we're going to do is check out the drum sounds. Let's just start by clicking this. And this is the kind of drum preset number 1. I'll quickly browse through all of them. Yeah, so a bunch of different styles, and somebody's going to make a meme out of my face moving like that, something like that. But yeah, really cool. I just had to try the drum fill thing with the kind of electronica drums because I wanted to see what they do. I'm just going to demonstrate what the fill thing does in view of the different drum presets. As you can also tell, depending on when you hit the fill button or like when you tell it to like add a fill, it's smart enough to adapt to whatever kind of bar it's playing, so you get different lengths of fills, and I think that's just really cool. It's musical, that's I think what's important. Basically it reacts to where you are in the song, and I think that's just really cool. If you need like a longer drum fill, you'll start it at the second bar, third bar, something like that, and it will do something like that to kind of take you to the next section of the song. Just a really smart system, and again, it's much easier to operate than kind of my initial reaction, for example, was. And that concludes my Knox JTC drum and loop demo. I hope you found this device as exciting as I did. Again, I'm just really impressed with the quality of the Knox pedals. All of the Vertigo series and some other things that they've been sending me, they've been really good. Simple as that. Good pedals, good build quality. Haven't really had issues with any of them either. And this pedal is no exception. I like it a lot, and if you want to get yours, please follow the link below in the description. There should be a link to some store that sells them already. And if you found this video useful, helpful, fun, something like that, please consider giving it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, ask any questions you might have. You can support me by getting a Catpic Studios t-shirt, links below in the description as well. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button for more videos in the future, hit the notification bell as well. Thanks for watching this video, I shall see you next time!